you.
Huh?
I was gonna say, literally, all the Floridians were like the least equipped to be in the cold weather. Oh no, yeah, you're gonna have to. So they have these vests that you can use rechargeable gears on.
Oh yeah?
So I have one of those. It's like, I'll make you appreciate.
Your district soon.
Oh, you are? Where at?
Orlando.
Okay, so it's still like 2 hours. It's like 7 if you get traffic. Right outside
Tampa than
Tampa.
south, yeah.
But I'm going to be shifting. I just didn't know where. Oh, well, actually, I would prefer that they don't touch me, but I don't know.
You know what?
So good. Oh, I have some banger music on it. These are great.
Talked about that after.
Abel's good. Facing her.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, I did not know that. I'm so shocked about it. Exactly. Wait, we have to do a selfie.
but so the clip either is
Whatever you think is best. I would say shorter is better. Huh? In the neighborhood. That's cute.
Hi, thanks for coming.
I'm all in your phone. I'm glad you're here. I felt alone. I was like alone in the corner.
I know, I was saying, is any other members up here?
Just me and you.
Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we'll have time before we start, frankly, but maybe after we'll have a moment. Okay.
Let me.
I had a pair of my
I gotta grab something really quick. I'll do it after the house. Although it doesn't.
Francesca. Nice to meet you. No, I'm
Read to elementary school.
Are you?
Yeah. Representing Macy's here.
At least it's not too cold.
I know. I thought it was gonna be less
The
colder.
polar vortex has moved on until Saturday.
Yeah, until we get 20 on Saturday.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez's press secretary. So they will be here in a couple of moments. So we'll be starting like 3 or 4 minutes late. I please ask you, if you are a press or a staffer, please stand back. Please move back a little bit so we can give them some space to enter. Please, yeah, move back. Thank you so much.
Did they cancel it? Do we not have any more votes?
No, we have votes
When?
around 4.
4 o'clock? Dang, they switched out the whole timeline.
Yeah. Cancel votes for tomorrow, so they added in tomorrow.
So there's no more 6 p.m. vote series?
No. We have 4 to 4:45, I think.
Can you please send me an updated schedule since they canceled the vote for this evening?
They just moved them.
Okay.
And they cancel votes tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I got that. I heard they were canceling votes earlier, so I booked my flights out at like 6 a.m. Wow.
Hi, if you are part of RAIN or SVPA, Omni, and you have already like RSVP'd with me to stand in the back, please come here. If not, please stay there. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
I have House Press Gallery.
Hi, are you an advocate?
With the
Welcome,
Press
please.
Gallery, but
Yeah.
we do House and Senate. If you need any help, like any like press specific stuff, I know.
Yeah. Can we do an announcement to like also ask to just like step back?
You know I gotta sit absolutely.
This should be
I'm keeping it this way. Is there where the? I absolutely don't. Oh, no, that's fine.
But they're so comfortable.
I mean,
we have a sign for
the free people.
Congresswoman.
Oh, you already have one.
Hello, Nancy.
If you are press, please stay behind this line right here. Just so we
But like the
They will never be one of us.
Oh, they have security on the wall now. We have security up there.
You shouldn't be here. You're not one of us.
I know, they always think I'm staffing.
Well, it's because we're getting younger. Welcome, Rep Sleeve. How are you? How are you?
Good, Francesca. I take it as a compliment. I'm like,
Good.
I would like to get the card.
yeah, please park me and ask for money. All day. Yeah.
Just got a case. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you weren't as fast as
The states are doing some sections.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
She is the best. Connecting people. Also, there's
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, I work for Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Yeah, please assume your positions. We have some signs for you guys to hold if you're interested.
You don't care? No. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, we do.
We actually have a little stuff over here.
Hey, Linda, if you wouldn't mind.
There. Right there. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you. I'm from
Yeah, my hands are freezing.
Yeah, mine are too. I thought.
See, the thing is that this weather, you
Never imagine that we're about to get hit with like a major
Polar
snow
vortex.
storm. I know, this is so freaky.
and this is my first week in DC.
Oh my gosh.
She came from Arizona. I said, you must have brought the cold weather. You're supposed to bring warm weather.
It gets kind of cold, but I don't think it's this type of cold.
No, I didn't think.
Yeah, Arizona, the lowest is like 32 lowest.
Said it was going to be like 5 this weekend. So, yeah, we'll see.
We're leaving tomorrow. People are like, our flight day. I think they can because of the weather. So we all have to get snow test.
Very TBD, very scary. I already ordered all my goods and all my sweet treats for the weekend to ensure that I would not be late. This is the perfect thing to end off like my week.
Hey, Claudia.
I'm like dressed up for winter, and you're like, you're from Florida.
I literally though this one's wool, so it's good to go. But no, I know upstate. That's next level. We can do it.
Sure. We are going to be getting, I think it's going to be like 10 below on Saturday.
No, thank you. I cannot compute.
Yeah, we're not getting as much snow as everybody else is. Yeah.
Is it gonna be all of these or? Yeah. I've been sending my mom like weekly orders of fire laws. I'm like, so damn cold.
Oh, she lives in Syracuse?
Yeah,
Like
right
in Syracuse?
Yeah, in Syracuse.
Yeah, they got a lot of snow before. So I live like 30 minutes from Syracuse. So Syracuse is if you're I live on this lake, it's night lake. Syracuse is here, and I live right in the middle of the lake.
Oh my gosh.
It is actually, we didn't get as much snow in Syracuse a couple weeks or 2 weeks ago.
A lot of work. So
They got like
my mom's like, it snows. I'm like, you literally moved to like the snowiest part of the country. Like it's known.
she was we had her out of Benedict the other day. It was for Micron. We had the Micron around. And we did part of it at the Veterans Center.
She took me to see it last summer. At least we drove past it. Like this.
Syracuse or the Veterans Center?
The Veterans Center. She drove past it because it's right against
State network. But
it's always an experience, let me tell you. Amazing. He's a unit.
Oh my god, a unit. That's funny.
Yeah, he's a unit.
So just like email to other good folks in there that you would have to like who would be the today should be walking fire.
yeah, absolutely. We're trying to also.
This is so funny. We have the healthcare CEOs and just like
More of it.
everybody's in there, and there's like so much like notice.
There needs to be even though it's
I forgot to bring a jacket this week. I was like,
I guess I could take it off.
Whatever.
No, I am not built for the cold. I was literally yesterday just like,
Look at you guys. I have like more boots, 2 pairs of socks on.
no. So these are actually the most comfortable. They're like super
Oh, what are they?
crossover full on.
Those are Kohans?
Yeah, but I
me
feel
see
like
the
I'm walking in
undertones.
sneakers.
Oh, yeah.
But
they are sneakers.
it's like a hybrid sneaker shoe.
Those are cool.
Yeah, I gotta get my steps in.
Me too. I'm getting my steps like right now. I'm like, I'm wearing a big old coat like your grandma. And she's not.
Hey guys, thank you
Sorry.
so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Thank you so much.
How are you?
Amazing. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing? Thank you all. Let me just grab, sorry, I think I've got my remarks coming up. Okay, great. Thank you all so much. First and foremost, I want to express my deep gratitude to everyone here who is coming in ahead of the cold this weekend to help us push for justice for victims of deepfake AI pornography. We have a collection of survivors and a bipartisan coalition here that is growing and so strong as we continue to fight for justice for survivors of deepfake AI pornography. I want to give a special thank you to my Republican co-sponsor, Laurel Lee, who has helped us push this across the line, and as we move this forward after unanimous passage in the Senate, hoping to get this across the line here in the House. And of course, I want to give my deep, deep gratitude to Paris Hilton, who is also here today, who came all the way from Los Angeles after a busy flurry out there to help push for the passage of the DEFIANCE Act here today. I also want to recognize the courage and bravery of a young survivor, Francesca Manni, who is here with her mother, Dorota, who is consistently advocating on behalf of young victims across the country. I also want to give one more shout out to Omni Miranda Martone, founder and CEO of the Sexual Violence Prevention Association, who has been essential in crafting and advocating for this legislation. Since the public release of AI tools, we have seen an absolute explosion in AI-generated images used to sexually harass victims and children. Out of all deepfake images that AI has generated, over 90% have been non-consensual pornographic deepfakes. And out of those images, 90% of them have targeted women. As a prominent female elected official, I, as well as many others here, have spoken about our experience being targeted by AI deepfake pornography. Not only is this a coalition of legislators, this is a coalition of survivors of sexual harassment and in some cases abuse and assault. As a survivor of sexual assault myself, this resurfaces trauma for so many people across the country. And that is what it is intended to do. Because the creation of this content parallels the same exact intention of physical assault, which is about power, domination, and humiliation. And while these images may be digital, the harm to victims is very real. Women lose their jobs when they are targeted with this. Teenagers switch schools, and children lose their lives. Congress has a moral obligation to stop this harm. We can stop this harm, and we can pass this legislation to hold the people responsible accountable. Right now, 1 in 8 teenagers knows a friend who has been targeted by AI deepfake harassment. Because if you are a middle schooler, and we should all be horrified by that, because if you are a middle schooler or a high schooler in the United States of America, you most likely know someone who has been a victim to this. And people's parents are waking up every morning in fear that their kid could be next. And while everyday Americans are terrified of this, corporations are finding new ways to profit from the creation of these deepfakes. So while we are all grateful that Congress has taken the tremendous step
in passing the Take It Down Act to ensure that harmful content is removed from online platforms, we know that there is more work to be done. It is not enough to take down content. We have to give victims a civil right of action. Take It Down gave us removal, and Defiance will give us recourse and restitution. Once this bill is signed into law, and it will be signed into law, survivors will have the ability to hold their abusers accountable and seek financial and reputational damage for the harm they have caused. In times of extreme political polarization, I also want to underline that the partnership with Representative Lee and myself have formed, as well as the invaluable partnership of Senators Durbin and Graham in the Senate, I think it represents a real spotlight and possibility that in this time of deep division, there are still bright spots possible, and there's still progress that's possible here. Bicameral, bipartisan advocacy for legislation focused on delivering justice for the American people. So since we've made some massive steps forward, it's time for us to finish the job. And so I urge Speaker Johnson, which we have had positive and encouraging conversations with, to put this on the floor for a vote as quickly as possible. I want to thank you all again, and I am now proud to introduce the co-lead of the Defiance Act, Representative Laurel Lee. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. Today I stand with my colleagues, with survivors, and with advocates to say that Congress must act to stop sexually explicit deepfakes from being used as a weapon against innocent Americans. I am proud to stand here as the co-lead of the Defiance Act, legislation that has already passed the United States Senate unanimously and now deserves swift action in the House. This bipartisan effort sends a powerful message. Congress recognizes the real harm caused by non-consensual, sexually explicit deepfakes, and we are committed to holding perpetrators accountable. I want to recognize a few of the people who are standing here with us. First, my colleague and partner in this legislation, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This has truly been a bipartisan effort from the very beginning. Her leadership has been essential. I also want to thank our other co-sponsors who stand here with us today in the House of Representatives, who will help us advocate to get this across the finish line. I want to acknowledge the survivors who are here with us today, who will be speaking about their personal experiences. Your courage, your voices, your willingness to help us shape this legislation are the reason that we are here. And I also want to thank Paris Hilton for her advocacy and for using her platform to shine a national light on this issue. Your leadership has helped bring long overdue attention to the harm that victims face. Deepfakes are not harmless, and they are not victimless. They are deliberate digital forgeries, often sexual in nature, created to exploit, harass, and humiliate. The technology to make them is becoming more accessible and more widespread. And while the images and the videos may be fake, the harm they cause is very real. Victims have seen their reputations destroyed, their careers derailed, their mental health profoundly affected. And for too long, our laws have lagged behind this technology. Victims have been left without clear, consistent legal tools when their likeness is stolen and weaponized without their consent. The Defiance Act closes that gap. This legislation creates a clear federal civil remedy for victims of non-consensual, sexually explicit digital forgeries. It allows victims to hold accountable those who knowingly create, distribute, or solicit this material, or who recklessly disregard the lack of consent. It provides a meaningful statute of limitations for victims who might not discover this abuse right away. And it includes strong privacy protections, so survivors are not further traumatized simply for seeking justice. Passing the Defiance Act is about something very simple and very important: restoring dignity, restoring accountability, and restoring justice. It draws a clear line. Those who create and spread this material will be held accountable, and victims will finally have real protections and real recourse under the law. This bill shows what is possible when we put victims ahead of politics. I am committed to working with my colleagues in the House to see this legislation enacted so perpetrators face consequences for their actions and victims across the country finally have the protections they deserve. It is my great pleasure to introduce one of our strongest advocates. We are so grateful to have her with us here today, Ms. Paris Hilton.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank the bipartisan group of lawmakers standing beside me today, and thank you to every woman, girl, and survivor who's watching. You are the reason that I'm here. It's been 1 year since I stood at the Capitol and passed the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act. That legislation was deeply personal because I was one of those children. A teenager taken from my home in the middle of the night, locked away, mistreated, and silenced. Coming back to the Capitol, I feel something new. Strength. I didn't always feel strong, but telling the truth again and again is how I found my power. And I want to use that power now to speak about something that I've never fully said aloud. When I was 19 years old, a private, intimate video of me was shared with the world without my consent. People called it a scandal. It wasn't. It was abuse. There were no laws at the time to protect me. There weren't even words for what had been done to me. The internet was still new, and so was the cruelty that came with it. They called me names, they laughed and made me the punchline. They sold my pain for clicks, and then they told me to be quiet, to move on, to even be grateful for the attention. These people didn't see me as a young woman who had been exploited. They didn't see the panic that I felt, the humiliation or the shame. No one asked me what I lost. I lost control over my body, over my reputation. My sense of safety and self-worth was stolen from me. And I've fought hard to get those things back. And I believed that the worst was behind me, but it wasn't. Because today, what happened to me then is happening now, to millions of women and girls in a new and more terrifying way. Before, someone had to betray your trust and steal something real. Now, all it takes is a computer and a stranger's imagination. Deep fake pornography has become an epidemic. I know today that there are over 100,000 explicit deepfake images of me made by AI. 100,000 circulating the internet. Not one of them is real, not one of them is consensual. And each time a new one appears, that horrible feeling returns. That fear that someone somewhere is looking at it right now and thinking it's real. No amount of money or lawyers can stop or protect me from more. It's the newest form of victimization happening at scale to your daughters, your sisters, your friends, and neighbors. A staggering 1 in 8 girls today are experiencing the harms of AI-generated deepfake porn. I hear from teenage girls who are terrified to go to school because they know a deepfake of them is circulating. I hear from women who are scared to run for office, to apply for jobs, to speak publicly, because they know how easily their image can be weaponized against them. Too many women are afraid to exist online, or sometimes to exist at all. And I know how that feels, because I've lived it. And now I have a daughter. She's just 2.5 years old, and I would go to the ends of the earth to protect her. But I can't protect her from this. Not yet. And that's why I'm here. Because this isn't about just technology, it's about power. It's about someone using someone's likeness to humiliate, silence, and strip them of their dignity. But victims deserve more than after-the-fact apologies. We deserve justice. The DEFIANCE Act is a bipartisan bill that gives survivors a path to justice. This is personal to me. It's part of my story. I began telling my truth in my documentary, This is Paris, and more in my memoir. Next week, I'm releasing my film, Infinite Icon, the next chapter in my healing journey. I am lucky. I had the platform to reclaim my story, but so many others don't. And what I've learned is this: when your image is violated, it doesn't disappear. It lives inside you, but so does your power. Telling the truth has helped me heal, and I'm so proud that today I stand here without shame. I am Paris Hilton, a woman, a wife, a mom, a survivor, and what was done to me was wrong. And I will keep telling the truth to protect every woman, every girl, every survivor, now and for the future. Last week, the Senate passed defiance by unanimous consent. Today, I stand here with Congresswomen Ocasio-Cortez and Lee, asking Congress to pass the Defiance Act through the House. Let's finally make it law. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I want to introduce Francesca Manny.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today at this press conference for the Defiance Act. It is my pleasure to stand here with the powerful women surrounding me. Congresswoman AOC, Congresswoman Lee, Miss Paris Hilton, and my mom. My name is Francesca Manny, and I'm a 17-year-old high school student from New Jersey, bringing awareness to this crucial legislation. When I was 14, back in 2023, I became a confirmed victim of AI-generated deepfakes at my high school. That day, my name was called over the loudspeaker, and the administration told me there couldn't be any accountability because no laws existed. So I told them, I will bring you a law. At that time, only 3 states had AI deepfake laws. Today, in 2026, all 50 states have them. Plus federal protections like the Take It Down Act. But we need more. That's why I'm advocating for the Defiance Act. This bipartisan bill provides a private right of action, allowing victims to sue those who produce, distribute, or solicit non-consensual deepfake intimate images. It defines these as AI-created forgeries without affirmative, conscious, competent, and voluntary consent, with remedies like damages up to $250,000 and a 10-year statute of limitations. Let's state the facts. 1, we've identified the problem, the rapid rise of non-consensual imagery affecting women and teens, with 1 in 8 kids aged 13 to 20 knowing a victim. 2, we need laws for real accountability. 3, this shifts the focus from victims' feelings to perpetrators. Who gave you the permission? In my case, I wasn't even friends with the bad actors. I don't know how they got my image, but that's not my fault, it's theirs. Advocates often highlight victims' harms, academic, professional, emotional, physical, all very real. But the key message to abusers, it will impact you. Building on Take It Down's criminal penalties, Defiance adds consequences that hit where it hurts. If ethics aren't in your heart, self-preservation should be. If you don't care about others, protect yourself. It's not cool or comfortable in jail. And to Congress, pass this now, please. No more waiting while tech outpaces justice. Empower us to fight back. This is why we need the Defiance Act, to empower survivors and make our world safer. Thank you. Thank you. And now, my mom.
I promise to be brief. First of all, I want to say how honored I am here to stand with so many powerful and influential. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Lee, Miss Paris Hilton, Francesca, so many of you I know by name. Congresswoman Mays.
Yes,
why are we standing here with Defiance Act? Because it's time. It's time to shift the rhetorics. Stop asking victims how they feel, and instead shine the spotlight on the bad actors. There's no better way than through legal accountability. The Defiance Act builds on the Take It Down Act, providing a civil right of action, allowing survivors to sue those who produce, distribute, and solicit non-consensual deepfake intimate images without consent. It empowers victims. Francesca and I are constantly asked if we have taken legal actions against our bad actors. No, we have not. And no, we will not. But as a mother and educator, I understand that context matters. Every victim should have the right to choose their own path without judgment. The Defiance Act is one more tool to protect us proactively while offering a platform to seek accountability and prevent future harm. With 30 bipartisan House co-sponsors, including representatives like Brian Fitzpatrick, Nancy Mays, Jamie Raskin, and so many more, as of today, I think over 42, and endorsements from 23 organizations such as National Women's Law Center and Joyful Heart Foundation. This bill has a strong momentum. So, Speaker of the House, Congress, press, help us pass this bill. Thank you.
Thank you all so much, and we'll open for some brief Q&A on topic. Yes.
With artificial intelligence rapidly advancing, are there any metrics in place to monitor the rapid development of AI that are included here in the Defiance Act?
Well, the Defiance Act itself does not include those metric measures, but there are tools that are rapidly developing. As Paris mentioned in her remarks, there are over 100,000 images that have been detected. This is something that many of us unfortunately have to detect. So those tools they exist and they are rapidly expanding, and the Defiance Act will provide the important legal powers necessary in order to advance that. Yes.
So I spoke with Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, and he expressed that he had some First Amendment concerns, and that might be a possible roadblock to this. Is there anything, and those would need to be addressed. Do you agree with those concerns, and is there anything you guys are?
Yes, Representative Lee.
So I'm very confident that we addressed the First Amendment related concerns. Specifically, this creates a private cause of action against the individual who produces or distributes the images. It is not a cause of action against a tech company. It does not affect Section 230 liability protections. So I'm very confident that through our extensive work, both in the Senate and in the House, that we have addressed any of those First Amendment concerns. And I am very optimistic that we'll have an opportunity to have this bill hopefully set for consideration in the Judiciary Committee here soon, and then onto the floor of the House.
A quick question, Eric Garcia with the Independent. A quick question to the Republican women and Ms. Hilton. How important is it to have, even though you guys have control, to have the, how important and how crucial has Ms. Ocasio-Cortez been in passing this kind of legislation? Ms. Hilton or Ms. Lee or anyone?
I mean, I think we've all worked together very well on this. I don't think it's about any individual credit, but as a team.
But how important was bipartisanship for this?
I think bipartisanship has been tremendously important. Of course, Republicans hold the majority in the House, and so in fact, I want to underscore Representative Lee's leadership here on this, and her tremendous advocacy and her ferocity in advocating for women and getting this through the conference.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
What do you think the role of influencers and celebrities in general in changing this online culture?
What was the question?
Influencers, celebrities, people in public eye to change this online behavior culture.
That's why it's so important to pass this bill. so that people will not want to even do it because they know there's going to be something that will happen rather than them just getting away with it. And I think it's important for people with a platform to also support this because there's obviously so many women and that's what they do for a living. So I think it's incredible when people can come and use their voice and their platforms to speak out on this because it's something that is affecting people all around the world.
Question for both of you as well as Ms. Hilton. Paris, you said back in 2024 that you were maybe see yourself launching a political league, maybe see that happening. And Representative Ocasio-Cortez, he said this morning in a tweet that people don't really recognize how crucial Paris Hilton's advocacy work has been. What's your stance on a political bid at this time, and how do you both feel when you urge her to?
For me, coming to here to the Capitol and to DC and doing my advocacy work has truly been the most meaningful work of my life. And I'm so proud to stand with this cause with these incredible women who are so strong. And I'm just happy to be here to support. And I love that I can come and shine my spotlight on so many causes that are in need of it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, of course.
So say, and I can speak for myself and say she's been absolutely wonderful to work with on this legislation. Everything from the development of the policy itself to working with members and building consensus and collaboration. I am always thrilled when we have smart, talented, capable women running for the House of Representatives. A number of them are here with us today, and so I would be thrilled to add another one to our rings.
Yes, of course. Is it an endorsement?
Yes.
Yes, you know, honestly, when Defiance passed at the end of 2024, it happened very close to the end of the term. So we were having real breakthroughs, but the Congress ended. And so now that we're here in a new Congress, this is passed much earlier in the term relative to last time around. So now that it's passed the Senate early enough for us to have that opportunity here in the House. So I think that reception has been much better, and we also had that opportunity to work through some of those First Amendment flags so that we could address all the concerns to sufficiency.
Are you getting any pushback from tech companies?
You know, I think we had originally drafted this legislation, and we had gone through a lot of discussion already. I think since we've already discussed that Section 230 is a separate issue, separate from this. This is really centering survivors and victims to give them the right, to give them their rights to advocate for themselves. So we're okay on that front. And I think we'll do maybe one or two more. Yes?
A question for Paris Hilton, if I may. The big problem with this sort of legislation is the internet is global. Is there any plan to take this fight beyond Washington? Is there anything you can do, or see the international community doing to stamp out the effect of law?
Well, we're here today for the first step, but obviously this is happening all around the world, and I want to help with everyone around the world as much as I can. So, yes.
Well, we'll start right here.
Paris, can you describe any conversations that you've had with the White House, and how important is it to get the backing of First Lady Melania Trump on this building conversation to take it down?
I think it's really incredible when women come together and join forces to make the world a safer place for women and children all around the world.
Absolutely.
Hi, yes. Congresswoman Lee and AOC. Elon Musk said today at Davos that it'll ultimately be AI that leads or gets rid of poverty in America and across the world. How do you guys see that?
I mean, I would just say that's a whole other can of worms that we can talk about another day. I think we're focused on just on finding justice for victims here, and we'll wrap up here. Yeah.
Congresswoman, and here's a view. Should this bill pass as you expect, will you attend the signing ceremony at the White House?
I mean, what bills get a signing ceremony and which don't is up to the White House to decide, but as Paris said, whether it's the First Lady or whether it's the President, I think that I certainly, and I hope all of us, are more than willing to put aside any differences to come together and advocate for victims and survivors of sexual harassment and assault. And so, of course, where there are people coming together to champion survivors, I will be there, and I know that everyone here would be happy to support them as well. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, so much. Thank you.
Good work, seriously.
No, of
like,
course. Thank
as a
you.
survivor, you know, it's hard for me to cry.
Yeah, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paris, Congresswoman Nancy Mace, South Carolina. Yeah, thank you for being here. Personal. This is personal for me. I told my story before a year ago, and no one's been arrested. Voyeurism. I had to have Brock take down a deep fake last week. And it's like, I have no recourse. I have none. As a sitting member of Congress, having been filmed and